Sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori. Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We cross the topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now, we taking over. It's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now, miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now, we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud, miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Cause you listen to the Man Hour.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeiser here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise. We have new merchandise dropping every month from now until the end of the year. So check it out. T-shirts as low as $15 a month. That's manhourradio.com. We do have a great show for you guys lined up tonight. We are going to talk some Bucks Hawks, some Suns Clippers. We're going to talk a little Houston Texans. And, of course, we're going to talk Dodgers Giants as well. But before we get too carried away, let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, the only full-timer here on Man Hour Nation, Mr. Tori Anderson, manhour_Tori at the old Twitter machines. What's going on, Tori?
What is going on? Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this show tonight. I mean, me and you.
Yeah.
I mean, this only happens once in a while. Normally, we got Wyatt with us, but
it happens every Wednesday. It seems like moving forward, which is kind of weird, huh?
Right.
Every hump day.
Pretty soon, our little boy's gonna go off to college.
Yeah. Oh, our little boy's growing up. But before we get too carried away, I just got some breaking news sent to my phone here, and Merle Reese says that he is hearing that the Eagles are very close. I put air quotes around that. Very close to making a deal to sending Zach Ertz to the Buffalo Bills. Tori. So Zach Ertz to the Buffalo Bills with that stingy wide receiver core, that hell of a defense that they have, and Josh Allen making leaps and bounds. I mean, you said it here on the Man Hour, last week that you said Zach Ertz was going to get traded from the Philadelphia Eagles, and we're hearing it right now. Do you think this deal is going to happen? And if that deal happens, that the Buffalo Bills instantly become front runners?
Absolutely. They have an offense now that competes right with the Kansas City Chiefs.
If not better, honestly.
Who are you going to guard?
Right.
You can't double team everybody. It is a great move. Then that leaves the biggest question mark in Buffalo is who's going to be the lead running back at that point. So I said it last week. It's been rumored to happen, for the last 3 to 4 months, ever since the Super Bowl ended. Zach Ertz was going to go out of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Where he was going to go, we didn't know. If he ends up in Buffalo on an already potent offense, he becomes the Travis Kelce of that offense. And
do you think so you're saying this regenerates his career and makes him just that much better, basically?
100%. Just because we had talked going forward, they were going to go with Dallas Goedert anyways. Even you could see it last year. Dallas Goedert started taking over at the end of the year. And so Zach Ertz was kind of getting frustrated, said, nope, I kind of want out. And he's going to get his wish. And if he ends up in Buffalo, what better situation? He could have not asked to go to a better team. Like the only other team he might have said was like, well, can I go to Tampa Bay to do double tight end sets with Gronk?
Yeah, that's almost like one of the most perfect places that he could have went, or maybe even a better spot would have been maybe Arizona Cardinals, maybe with that potent offense that they're going to have over there, as well. But like I said, let me get his name correct here. His name is Merle Reese. I don't know who Merle Reese is, but it popped up on my Eagles Nation Twitter that I follow. So for some Eagles news, so he must be like an Eagles insider or something, because he did say sources closest to him. So you always got to protect your sources, right?
Right. I mean, as we were talking pre-show, like my buddy talking about Giannis. So
yeah, which we'll be talking about Giannis later in the show here. But before we get too far into the show, Tori, tell the people what you have been working on here on the Man Hour as like your kind of your side project moving forward. Like, what have you been working on, man?
So my side project and the spin-off project, not really a spin-off project, but something that is an added value for our valued subscribers that like to come and sit with us. I am doing a fantasy football part of it. I have won my title 4 times in the last 10 years. I've finished second 3 times. I've not finished below 4th place in the last 6 years. I've never finished below 6th place in the last 10 years. So I'm always in the top half. I'm always in the running. You want your fantasy news, you want your insider sources, come to me. I will tell you who you need to pick up, who you need to let go, who to start, who to bench, who's gonna be a breakout candidate, who's gonna be our sleepers. Wyatt and I have a little preview coming out. You'll get to see it, a free preview on America's Day of Freedom on July 4th. You'll get to see it of our top 5 flex players for the fantasy football season this year. So if you want to check out just a little sneak preview of what Wyatt and I are going to kind of talk about, tune into that. And if you want to get in on it and you want that insider knowledge where you want to win your league, all you got to do is be a $2.99 a month subscriber. Go to our page, become a subscriber. Bam, done. Every week you will get insider information if you are a subscriber of $2.99 or more to the Man Hour.
Yeah, so that is over here at youtube.com/Man Hour. If you are not a member already, you simply click that join button and you pick on the bronze membership or higher. If you do the $5.99 one, you get a free t-shirt after 6 months, plus extra footage from blogs and stuff like that. But the $9.99 one, you get a hoodie every year. You are part of the Man Hour Nation. So like Tori said, guys, July 4th at 8 p.m., Sunday night, 8 p.m., we will be premiering the very first fantasy football clip there, and we will be uploading those every Wednesday at 11 a.m. moving forward. So fantasy football talk with Tori and Wyatt. I'm not for sure. So is Wyatt going to be on with you every time, or probably once a week or so, or what? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking probably until he has to go to school that he can do it until while he has time. He wants to do it. So I'll take the little guy under my wing, teach him everything I know. Since he's good enough to finish in second place, he's just never good enough to win the thing.
Right. So Tori, let's say I got a question for you. I don't know who to play this week. Should I play Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? How do I ask you that question and you can answer it? Right
there. You can ask it to me on Twitter. If you want, you can go to the Man Hour Facebook page and drop a question there, or message us on Facebook Messenger there. One way or another, I will get that question and I will answer your question for you. So it does not matter. I don't care what format you play. I will answer that question for you, all the way from touchdown only to keeper league to just standard scoring to PPR leagues. Whatever it is, I will point you in the right direction.
Yeah, and speaking of standard league here, we will be having a standard 12-man league, ESPN style, here on Man Hour Nation, and we will we'll probably make that happen here in the next month or so, maybe mid-July, after I get settled in my new house and everything's not so crazy, and we'll do a live draft with everybody that is here as well. So if you want to beat Tori at his own game by taking his advice, definitely become a subscriber here at youtube.com/Man Hour for $2.99 a month. I mean, it's easy to win your league. Listen to Mr. Tori Anderson, because he's a very, very knowledgeable guy here. But Tori, with all that being said, NFL training camp does start here in about 3 weeks. So most teams start here in about 3 weeks. What are you looking forward to most within the training camps? Are you looking to see if Aaron Rodgers shows up? Are you looking to see if Dak Prescott becomes his old self? What are you looking forward to the most in training camp?
One, I'm just looking forward to be able to go to training camp. It's one of my favorite things to do. The Packers have basically open practices. They basically have stadium seating. Well, it's all bleachers, but which is stadium seating in Lambeau Field.
Right.
But they have that all set up along the fences and outside the practice areas and stuff like that. Like, and I will tell you, it is standing room only every freaking practice there. Packer fans take their football seriously. People will take their lunch over there. They'll sit in the stands and eat their lunch and watch practice. Like,
really?
that's
awesome.
what happens.
Yeah, that's
it
awesome.
is. And I will tell you, it's worth it to go just to people watch. It is it is a spectacle to behold. So Chris Narrett, who was on our show before, that works
great
for
interview, by the
Heritage,
way. Great interview.
He was at a practice, and this was years ago, and I do believe he ended up getting Sterling Sharp's cleats one time after practice.
That is cool.
So like it's a great thing to do. For those of you that don't know, I used to go and I would get autographs and like get hats autographed. I have no kids of my own. Wyatt is basically my child now. I sent him all my Packer autographed hats for his graduation because I have nobody to pass them on to. I could think of nobody better than Wyatt to pass them on to. So for me, that's a lot of my childhood memories went into that and went with him. And so it's kind of cool to see it passed on. I wish I would have got to see the reaction to that one.
Like, a guy was there, man. He was on cloud 9 all day long. Like, he was showing it off. He's like, hey, look, man. It was he was on cloud 9 100%. So what you're looking forward to most in training camp is people watching at training camp.
And making the rest of you eat crow when Aaron Rodgers is under center.
I'm kind of on the fence whether he's going to show up or not. But I would say he's probably going to show up because, at the end of the day, players play. So let's just call
that's the thing. His competitive spirit, his need, because there again, even when he talked before, he talked about basically not wanting to let his teammates down, not letting the fans down, stuff like that. So push comes to shove, he's going to skip all the other stuff that he can, but push comes to shove and it's time to go. It's go time. I think he'll be there.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So we do have some people popping up over here in the chat here right before our first break. We got Drew coming in. Howdy, boys. What's going on, Drew? Thank you for being a value member here over on Man Hour Nation, youtube.com/Man Hour. Drew is a $2.99 member over there on the YouTube page, so he will get all access to that fantasy football thing here. And then he also says, Buck, is good to actually see you. Yeah, so my camera is glitching still, so I don't know if it's my computer or if it's my actual camera. I'm not for sure. But so if you guys see me like, it's not me doing the robot. It's just me glitching and doing 10 frames per second or something crazy.
It's actually doing really good right now because it was lagging before.
Yeah.
But now now everything seems to be golden with it. So
yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like it could just be our streaming service as well. I don't really know. I'm not the IT guy here on Man Hour Nation. That's you, Tori.
Not yet.
I don't
start that job. I don't start that job for another couple of weeks.
Yeah. We do have Michelle in the chat as well. What's going on, Michelle? Thank you for tuning in. And Michelle, your wedding date is coming up here sometime in October, if I'm not mistaken, right? Tori, do you remember the date for sure? It was like October 12th.
I don't know. I didn't get invited.
Yeah, you did.
What the hell?
You will. That I don't think they sent out invite. You're going to be Combs' best man. No, I don't know. But I believe it's sometime in October. You're what?
I thought I was taking over for Michelle and I was going to be his new life partner.
I mean, if you guys can figure out what you want to do there, but Michelle is an awesome girl.
We could put the house divided, Bears and Packers flag out on.
Oh my God. That is ridiculous. But I had the pleasure of meeting Michelle about a month and a half ago now, and she was just pure awesome. So the wedding's next year. Okay.
See, so plenty of time to not invite us to the wedding.
Yeah, never. So Joey comes in and says, bald. Yeah, Tori, it's football season. If you know anything about me, I am a defensive coordinator, and every July or June, I shave my head bald because that's when football season starts. And just because I don't want sweat dripping down my head because of all the hair that I have. That's a joke. I'm but no, every June after my anniversary, I do shave my head bald because football season is officially here. And like, that's like a staple to my wife. Like, hey, football season's here, honey. Prepare for me not to be home at all. And then Joey says, go ahead and skip right over my comment.
But then he said, never mind.
Never mind. All right, guys. So we got some sports headlines coming up. We're going to talk a little Bucks, Hawks. We're going to talk NFL Rookie of the Year. And we got to sprinkle in some baseball in there as well. Dodgers and Giants. Are the Dodgers going to be number one by the end of the weekend? Find out what Tori Anderson has to think right here after the break. Man Hour Nation. We'll be right back.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding. Protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Tori Anderson tonight. This portion of the Man Hour is brought to you by Brooks Roofing. Head over to brooksroofingin.com if you're in the southern Indiana or northern Kentucky area for all your roofing and siding needs. Bradley Brooks did a great job for us. He went to fight for me and my wife on our roof and with the insurance, and he came out a winner, and we got a brand new roof for free because thanks to Bradley. Otherwise, we would have had to pay $15,000 for a brand new roof. And quite frankly, guys, I don't know where you're from, but I couldn't afford that. So thank you, Bradley Brooks, for that. brooksroofingin.com. Guys, check him out for all your roofing and siding needs. Welcome back to the show here, Tori. Let's go ahead and bring everybody back on the screen here. And we did have a tip come through here, Sloppy Seconds. Thank you for the tip, man. We definitely agree. Definitely appreciate that $5 that you dropped there. So great name. I love it. Sloppy Seconds is like my that's probably what you live by, Tori.
No.
But
let's leave my personal life off of this for the after show.
All righty. So with that being said, last night and like on the after show, we saw a pretty gruesome injury to Giannis during that game, and it turned out to be just a hyperextension of the knee. No structural damage that we know of as of right now, and I think that was the latest news as I just came on air there, that there has been no reports of structural damage. But the Hawks did beat the Bucks last night without Trae Young, tying up the series 2-2 going into Game 5. I believe Game 5 is back at Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Milwaukee. It's in Milwaukee.
Okay. I mean, you're right. But are the Bucks done without Giannis in the lineup?
No, they are not. And the reason being, Trae Young is still questionable for Game 5. Clint Capella now may be out as well for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
So, granted, they still have John Collins in there, but still missing Trae Young and Clint Capella. There goes your best player and your best defender. So, I say this is about a dead even series still.
Yeah.
Because both teams are going to be missing their stars. Right now, Giannis is doubtful for the next game. I would be shocked if he played in Game 5. It would be a miracle at this point, because if you've ever hyperextended your knee, because I've done it a lot, it is almost as bad as like a sprain on your knee. I mean, the only difference is you can put pressure on it, but it's still, no matter what you do, it hurts.
Yeah.
So, granted, they have a little bit better medical staff probably than what I had. However, still, the body needs time to heal. And according to my source, Giannis sits Game 5. If they win, he sits Game 6. But if they lose, he probably tries to play in Game 6. But if they can hold him off to Game 7, if it gets that far, they're going to hold off until a Game 7.
So let me ask you this question point blank. Does this go seven games?
The way it stands right now, I think so. I think this does go 7 games.
So the Bucks went at home and the Hawks went at home, or both road warriors?
So I think right now, Bucks take Game 5 in Milwaukee. The Hawks take Game 6 in Atlanta, and it comes down to Game 7 in Milwaukee.
And does it come down to who is healthier at the end?
God, this whole playoffs feels like that. It feels like a war of attrition.
Right.
So it potentially could be. There again, I think he's not an X factor because he's a legitimate star. It comes down to how well Chris Middleton plays down this stretch. Mm-hmm. I think Chris Middleton does have the ability to take this team and strap it onto his back. I think this team can rally around him. The only thing that really hurts the Bucks right now is one that having Giannis, you miss his defensive presence big time.
Yeah.
But you have another guy that's been a spark plug since they traded for him from the Rockets in PJ Tucker. So I think that defensive spark plug type thing still kind of comes in to play with PJ Tucker. You're not going to get the scoring, but you also get better 3-point shooting with PJ Tucker in there versus Giannis as well.
Right. And just to add to your point there, I believe it was a couple shows ago, you called Chris Middleton the Batman, not the Robin of this Bucks team. So everything that you said is, it's keeping face, as they like to say. So you aren't waffling back and forth, right? Hashtag waffle.
Hashtag waffle Wyatt.
Hashtag waffle Wyatt. With that being said, though, like you said, this has been a war of attrition. So the injuries are adding up 100%. And I actually saw a stat earlier today that 9 All-Stars have at least missed at least one game in this year's playoffs. Do you think it is because of the basically back-to-back full NBA seasons that they're having to play, or is it just they come in waves? Like what are your thoughts on that?
I don't want to say it's because they're playing back-to-back. These are world-class athletes. These are fine-tuned machines that get paid to play a heck of a sport for a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they're training, their workout regimen, everything that they do. There is somebody that also makes a whole lot of money overseeing everything that they do to their body, what they put in their body, everything else. These are finely tuned people. I think it's more of a freak thing. It's just been that, like, it's been superstars that are going down versus did anybody care when Dante DiVincenzo went down for the Bucks and tore his ankle? No, it was news for like a day,
if that.
Yeah,
it was only news because you are a Bucks fan. Let's just be honest about that,
right? And so, but Giannis, no, you're going to see that full 72-hour cycle of Giannis, and they're getting, and you're going to see all the pundits as well too. Making the case of, look at all the stars getting hurt. The NBA doesn't care about its players, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? They still signed on to say, yeah, we'll start the season.
Right.
And we'll play this back to back. So
yeah. And speaking of some of those players that did sign on to play the season is LeBron James, Mr. King James himself. He came out on a tweet and basically said that this is unacceptable. And this was writing on the wall. He's seen all these injuries getting ready to happen. And then Shaq, Mr. Shaq himself claps back and says, you are making millions of dollars to play a game, and over 200 million people have been laid off during this COVID pandemic. I will play back-to-back nights because I'm making money and these people need something to see. Do you like when LeBron James comes out and says, this is the reason why I lost, and like this is the reason why all these players are getting hurt, or are we kind of at the point where we're just saying shut up and just play basketball?
So I hate LeBron James as a basketball player. I absolutely do love him though off the court, just because of the causes he does get into. However, with this one, I think he's overstepping his realm a little bit. I say this because I will say he was one of the very vocal ones about not starting the season at Christmas, and like wanted to start it more towards like February to give people's bodies time to heal. So the one thing I'll give him there is he hasn't waffled on this. He has been on that side of we should have never did this from the get-go. However, like with the injuries, him saying, well, I knew this would happen. This is the same guy that when they, talked about the play-in games, when it first came out, he's like, this is the best idea ever. This is great. Yep. But this year, guess who had to play in the play-in game? And it was like, whose stupid idea was this? This is awful.
This is your idea, LeBron.
So, yeah, you were all about it last year because you didn't have to deal with it. But this year you had to deal with it. And now it's stupid. So you can't do that. And, you can't have your cake and eat it too is probably the best way to put it with him. Right. And that's what he kind of wants with it. But when you have been that good for that long and you're used to just everything going the way you want it, there's a little bit of a sense of entitlement there. He probably thinks the Players Association should have been a little tougher with the league about starting later. And I don't know what you can do to prevent the injuries. There's nothing. It's like I said, these guys, most of them have personal trainers that tell them, no, don't put that pistachio down. You can't eat that. You need to eat an almond instead,
Yeah.
Because there's like 1 gram of protein more in that almond.
So let me ask you this question, because we kind of see this like all the time. We saw it with Scotty, or I think we're seeing it with Scotty Pippen, and like he is kind of saying stuff and get out there and just to keep his name in people's mouths. Do you think the reason why LeBron James is saying this stuff now because he sees the passing of the torch, he sees the writing on the wall that maybe he only has like a year or 2 left, and he's trying to stay in people's mouths, be considered the GOAT and like all this other stuff? Like, do you think the reason that's why he's been so vocal about some of this stuff?
No, because the name LeBron James will be synonymous with the NBA no matter what. It's always going to be that way, just like Kobe. Like, you can say one name. You can say Kobe, and everybody knows who you're talking about. You're going to say Barnes. LeBron. Right. So, but if you say LeBron, everybody knows you're talking about LeBron.
Right.
You say Michael, everybody knows you're probably talking about Jordan. So you're thinking Jackson, I know.
But go. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I don't think he does it. It's like I said. I think it's more of him just kind of making his stance clear, and he does do that a lot where he will speak out. And the thing is, and I respect him for this. He will make a statement that nobody backs. If he has to stand alone, he will stand alone.
Right.
And I respect that because at least you're sticking to your guns.
I can see that to an extent, I guess, but let's go ahead and transition and move past this and shift back over to the NFL here. And every year, right about this time, we start talking about preseason rewards and end of the season rewards. And so what better way to start our reward talk with the NFL Rookie of the Year? Tori, who in your eyes, who do you think is going to win the NFL Rookie of the Year?
Are we doing both? We doing offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year?
Sure, why not?
Oof. I'm going to go. Your hands down favorite for offensive Rookie of the Year is going to be Trevor Lawrence. Like, does not matter what he can do. It's probably going to be Trevor Lawrence. The one that I actually think wins it, though, is probably going to be Jalen Waddle.
Okay.
Just because that receiving core is so deep and so good in Miami. Like I said, I think Tua takes the step forward this year, and I think it's going to be Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is going to be a really good receiver in this league, and guess what? He's already played with Tua.
Yeah.
So there's already a little bit of that rapport there where he knows exactly what Jalen can do, and he's going to know where Jalen's going to be. So it's not going to take as much time to get in rhythm with him.
Yeah. So I think that Joey's boy, Mr. Tim Tebow, is going to overshadow Trevor Lawrence so much that I don't think his name even gets brought up in the conversation, to be honest. So I think it's going to be Kyle Pitts, like, honestly, because Kyle Pitts, like, he is in a pretty good situation. He has a veteran quarterback. They just let go one of their top receivers. Yes, they still got the what's the other receiver's name that they got?
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley. So they'll have that 1-2 punch, and we're seeing the evolution of tight end U. And I think Kyle Pitts is going to be the next coming of a Travis Kelce or a George Kittle, and he is just going to explode off of the map 100% this year. So I think Kyle Pitts gets the Rookie of the Year.
I could honestly see that, just because it's like I said, Atlanta's not going to be as bad, I don't think, as everybody thinks that they're going to be this year.
They'll be a 500 team.
You can't be around there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they'll be around there.
7-8
but they're, again, like, the games that they lose, they're going to still be throwing the ball a ton.
Right.
Because they're going to be behind a lot too. So as far as defensive side of the ball for defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going to be a homer on this one. I'm going to take Eric Stokes. And the main reason being is because they always talk about, in order to have a great defense, you need to have elite players at all three levels on your defense.
Right.
Packers have Kenny Clark. They have Zadarius Smith. They have Jair Alexander. Plus, you have two of the highest graded safeties in Adrian Amos and Darnell Savage as well. Where do you think they're going to go? Because as of right now, Eric Stokes is being inserted into the starting lineup. Where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go after the rookie. They're going to pick out, and I think he's going to be up to the challenge. And it's going to be inflated numbers, because I think he'll probably have 3 or 4 interceptions. He may return 1. He's also going to be the punt returner probably as well. Yep. It's kind of between him and Amari Rodgers right now as to who's going to handle, like, punt and kickoff return duties as well. So give me Eric Stokes, just because of the way that defense is built. I think he's going to end up having a good rookie year because of the players around him, not because he does anything spectacular himself. Although an interception, it is on him to make it. Right. I do think, though, that it's going to be between a pass rush and other players locking down their players and nowhere else to throw the ball. They're going to go after him, and I think that benefits him when he has a good rookie year.
Yeah, and it is definitely easy, or let me rephrase that. It is easier to play in the NFL when you have good players around you, because you don't have to worry about picking up their slack per se either. So with that being said, you can call this a homer as well, because the Cowboys are my second team, but I think Micah Parsons is going to have a pretty good year, because Sean Lee obviously retired. Vander Esch, you don't know how many games he is going to play, so it would not surprise me if Micah Parsons steps up into that starting role about week 2, week 3, and never gives it back. So I think Micah Parsons is going to have a great rookie year. Probably 86, 87 tackles, maybe a fumble recovery, a few sacks as well. So Micah Parsons for the Dallas Cowboys is my defense rookie of the year.
You're
what do you
wrong.
shake? I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
100%. Well, why? Why?
Actually, no, you're not wrong.
Because you're a homer.
It's a good. It is a good pick, but I'm just. It's so hard to predict how linebackers are going to perform.
You're right.
Like Denzel Perryman came into the league with the Chargers like a gangbuster, and then all of a sudden, like he played really well his first 2-3 years, and then he just went. Plump.
Didn't he get hurt though? Didn't he get like some type of was it a back injury or something just like that?
Could be.
Yeah,
because he was a run stuff and thumper when he came into the league.
Right. So in the NFL, there are pretty much 3 positions that are never going to be like a bust, and that is offensive line, cornerbacks, and wide receivers. Like you pretty much know what you're going to get. Your wild cards in the NFL are obviously the quarterbacks and then the linebackers. So those are the 2 positions that I think that can be the biggest bust in the NFL. Do you concur with that at all, or what are your thoughts on that?
No, because I think you can have busts at wide receiver.
But they're very few and far between.
Are they though? There's guys that have lit it up in college that apparently when they went to the NFL have completely forgot how to catch a football. For whatever reason, I don't get Cordero Patterson is a walking, talking example of that. The guy was phenomenal in college and got to the NFL and couldn't catch a football for his life. He's still a great returner. I mean, he's listed as a running back this year.
Yeah.
He's listed as the backup running back in Atlanta this year.
Do you think maybe that's just because of the team that they play on, though? Because your route running doesn't change. Your hands. You can get alligator arms and maybe short arms, some balls, but at the end of the day, I don't know if you almost you got it or you don't for a wide receiver, and maybe he just never had it.
I couldn't agree more. But there's a lot of guys that wash out of the league at receiver that have been really high picks. RJ Seward from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, I forgot about him. Yep.
Yeah, was a high pick. Was a great receiver. He was at USC, I believe. Yeah, he was at USC, and he did squat. And granted, he went to Jacksonville, and that's kind of where careers go to die.
Yeah,
but still, did nothing. I think you have more busts at receiver than you do anywhere else at this point right now. Okay. Actually, I think that's probably the most that you're going to see because it is such a boom or bust position.
Right. And there's also more of them. So you have more opportunities for bust. Right?
Absolutely. So, I would say you could throw running back in there, but running back has been so devalued over the last 10 years that, people are calling you running back a bust if you took him before the 3rd round already. The guy's never played a down in the NFL.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and shift gears again. Shift over to the Major League Baseball here before we take our second break of the night. The Dodgers have extended their win streak to 6 games with the win over the Giants last night, and they're now just 1.5 games behind the San Francisco Giants in the NL West. So the Giants have a series with the Diamondbacks this weekend. So I'm going to ask you this question. Do the Dodgers take over first place by the end of the weekend?
No, I don't think they do because they're, again, like you said, Giants are playing the Diamondbacks. Who do the Dodgers play this weekend?
I have to look it up. I don't know. I should have prepped for that. My fault.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's called show prep there, Buck. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. And I'm really the one that made this question, so I probably should have known the answer, right?
Right. But I don't think they do. So just because they are playing the Diamondbacks this weekend, everybody's beating Diamondbacks, even though you guys are like, they lost 17 in a row and they beat the Brewers, and then they didn't win another game in that series.
Yeah.
So, which there again, I'm crediting you guys because that started off the Brewers win streak, I believe.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, you are right. I don't think they've lost since, have they?
No.
Is that 7 in a row now? Right?
7 in a row.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you were saying that the Dodgers do not take over first place. So what kind of time frame are you getting before the Dodgers, overtake that first place?
I think it's going to be a couple weeks, but I bet by the All-Star break they're in first
Dodgers
place.
play the Nationals this weekend,
and there again, Nationals. They're playing better baseball right now, but they're still not playing great baseball. I mean, they're almost back up to 500 with the way they started the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with COVID and playing nothing. But I don't think by the end of the weekend. I think the Giants. I would not be shocked if they potentially could be tied for first place.
How about this for a bold statement? The Giants extend their first place lead by 4.5 games. So they're 4.5 games by next. When we're back on air next week, the Giants will have a 4.5 game lead over the Dodgers.
Are the Dodgers playing at Washington?
Yes, they are.
That could very well happen because West Coast to East Coast. So, but I will not. I will say the Giants have a 2.5 game lead.
Fair enough.
But I will say the Dodgers will be in first place by the All-Star break.
Which the All-Star break is less than, I think, 12 days away right now. Yeah.
2 weeks.
So that's a pretty bold statement because I don't know who the Dodgers have moving forward here. Let me take a look. See here. Monday, the Dodgers play. They actually have an off day. No, they play the Marlins on July 5th. So, I mean, that's a very good possibility there, I guess. So let's go ahead and head into our next break here, Tori. As Joey says, I am back after he sent a bunch of blank messages earlier. So shout out to Joey for trying to spam our chat. Big shout out, Joey. Much love here. Hey, speaking of which, Joey has a TikTok, guys. Did you know that? I found him on TikTok, Mr. Joey himself. So it's pretty comical. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know what the Snatch Talk is or Snap Talk. What is
you should all know about Snatch Talk, Tori. What are you talking about?
Snap Talk.
All right, guys. So we're going to head to our next break. On the other side of the break, we got the infamous What Does, brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR, and they will match up to $50 on your first deposit of $50 or more. So that is thrivefantasy.com, promo code MANHOUR. You can also download that on iOS and Android devices. Next week, guys, I will show you how to use Thrive Fantasy, but it is simply very, very simple. It's just simple over-under picks. So, for example, Devin Booker tonight, his over-under is 30 points or 30.5 points. So, is he going to get over or under that? As simple as that. And you bet $1 to a chance to win 50-50. Nice and easy there, guys. So, thrivefantasy.com, promo code MANHOUR. We'll be right back.
What is your name?
What?
What is your name?
Buck.
Where did you get that shirt?
It's funny that you should ask that. Head over to manhourradio.com. You can pick up the shirt up. $15.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes with Tori Anderson tonight. We have this segment of What The is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR and they'll match up to $50 on your first deposit. That's thrivefantasy.com. Promo code MANHOUR. Also, if you missed any part of the show tonight, simply head over to youtube.com/manhour and hit that subscribe button. And of course, hit the bell icon as we do upload clips from the show each and every day. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I am on that grind 100%, uploading those clips. So guys, definitely hit that subscribe button and the bell icon and get those clips. I mean, the clips are kind of our bread and butter, Tori, right now, because you can watch, 2-3 minutes of like what we say, and you can move on to the next one, or like you're like, I don't want to listen about hockey, so you click on the next Green Bay Packers playlist, and it can play you everything we've talked about the Green Bay Packers in the last 6 months here on Man Hour. How awesome is that?
That's pretty awesome.
It is
Especially
pretty
when you get
awesome.
an attention span like mine, where it's like squirrel.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of most of the world here. It's like we have an attention span about 5 minutes, and then we're like, oh, I need something else to pleasure me for like that particular time, which is it's kind of sad, like honestly, because like, for example, we have Disney Plus, and my kids love Dino Ranch now. Like Dino Ranch is the new thing, and we were watching Dino Ranch on Cartoon Network, and it had the commercials like in there. My son flipped a brick because he's like, "What is?" Because he's never seen a commercial, and like he's like, "This is bullshit. Like, what is this commercial about?" So he was pissed because they had to pay their bills, and and Dino Ranch was not instant gratification here. So Tori, we do have a segment called What The. We do this every Wednesday here on the Man Hour. We let out the frustrations that have been building all week, or that have carried on for next week. I got a couple lined up. Do you have a couple lined up as well?
I do.
All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to the What Does right after this little jingle. And my first What The of the night is going to go out to Mr. Brandon BC Combs himself at manhour_C, because he can't put his whole name in there because, it's something about, I don't know. But nonetheless, we do a segment here on hour number 2 of the Man Hour called Buy, Sell, or Sleeper. And Tori, for the last 3 days, I have put his Chicago Bears in there to cover as a buy, sell, sleeper, and he's not here. So we literally have to fly by the seat of our pants right before the show starts, and we're like, hey, what team you guys want to cover? I feel like moving forward, I just need to fill in a different team, and we have the Chicago Bears on the back burner. So when Brandon decides to show up and do the show, the Bears are there. So Brandon Combs, you get the What The of the night, man.
My first What The of the night is going to go out to my search for a new place to live. The amount of places nowadays, the market is inflated so bad. As Buck knows, looking for a house, next to impossible to try to get anything. I'm just looking to rent a place. I'm looking for just like a little year. And for a 1-bedroom place that's about 550 square feet. It was $1,380 a month. But wait, there's more. If I want to park there, it is another $70 a month.
Pass.
Oh, but if I want underground parking, it's $135 a month. Oh, by the way, there's a 2 to 3 month waiting list to park anywhere there. So where am I supposed to park my car since I can't park where I live? Apartment complexes trying to rip everybody off for every penny they got. You get my first What The of the night.
I do have to double down on what Tori exactly said because I've been trying to find a house since April, and we've been outbidded on 9 of the houses that we have gotten, and so we kind of had to settle on the house that we got now. But Tori, fun fact, my house payment is going to be cheaper than an apartment complex, and I have 5 times as much space as you do. So I'm sorry about that. But my next what the of the night is, I don't even remember the girl's name, but I believe she threw shot put at the U.S. Olympic trials. And she got 3rd place, I believe it was. And during the national anthem, she turned her back to the flag. And while she turned her back to the flag, she draped a T-shirt over her back saying activist athlete or something to that effect. So woman, I'm not going to speak your name because I don't remember your name. I don't really care to know your name like at this point, but you went to the United States Olympic trials to represent your country in the Olympic Games, and you turn your back to our flag. What is wrong with you? You get the just for the pure disrespect. And there is a petition going around right now to sign to get her kicked out of the Olympics, off of the U.S. team because of this exact fact. So a woman that turned her back to the flag during the national anthem after she won I believe it's a shot put, you get the what the.
My next what the night's going to go out to all of us that are Milwaukee Bucks fans. Seems like every time there's optimism, there's hope. We have a beleaguered, wounded, injured Atlanta Hawks team. We are about to go up 3-1, and we come out, lay an egg in that game. Giannis, thankfully, did not blow his knee out. It just seems like this is what we've come to expect from Wisconsin sports teams, to be almost good enough, but not quite good enough, with the exception of the Packers, who at least have actually won a championship within the last 10, I suppose it'll be 11 years now. So in 2010. So, right? So Karma, please stop. Let us have just one thing. I don't care if we lose the finals. I just want to make the finals instead of being like, oh, by the way, another loss for another Wisconsin team in a championship series. Packers NFC title game. The Badgers like to do great all season until the Big Ten title game. Now the Bucks in the Eastern Conference. Brewers in the playoffs. When is it going to end? When does our suffering end? Karma, going against Wisconsin teams, you get my second what the of the night.
My next what the of the night. Sorry, Tori, I didn't mean to leave you on screen there. I'm up. So my next what the of the night is going to go out to a certain NBA analyst or commentator or expert. Let me use that term very, very loosely. And they said that the LA Clippers should cut ties with Kawhi Leonard if the Clippers win the title without him. You guys realize that Kawhi Leonard, if he were to win with the LA Clippers this year, he'll have 3 rings, or he'll have rings on 3 different teams. He single-handedly led the Toronto Raptors to a ring. He carried the San Antonio Spurs to a ring as well. Yes, he may not have as big a role this year of winning the LA Clippers a ring if they were to win a ring, which I don't think they'll get past the Suns tonight. But to even utter that out of your mouth, saying that the LA Clippers should cut ties with Kawhi Leonard because he's injured, you get the what the, man. Stephen A. Smith.
My third what the night is going to go to getting old. I had plotted out, we had talked pre-show about what we were going to do for what the, and guess what? I have completely forgot what my third what the night was going to be. and I had it in my head literally 2 minutes ago and was going over what I was going to say. And so now I'm just going to blame it on that I'm getting old and I'm fat. I'm not really bald because Buck's bald.
I'm not bald.
So,
Selective hair growth.
So I'm going to go with giving my memory and getting old. You are going to get my third what the of the night.
My next what the of the night is going to go out to a certain co-host that we have on this show that has a luscious head of hair. His name is Wyatt, Mr. The Wyatt Williams, man hour _TWW. This man thought he was going to live off 3 months off of $1,500. This man thought he was going to live a life of luxury, wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, golf all day, and go buy hamburgers and burritos and hot wings, all he wants for 3 months off of $1,500. Wyatt, welcome to the real world, my man. Here in the real world, we spend $1,500 a week on just bills. That's not golfing. That's not doing fun stuff. That's just normal paying the water bill, paying the gas bill. So, Mr. Wyatt Williams, welcome to the real world, my man. $1,500 isn't jack shit. Let's just be honest about that. It's nothing, Wyatt. Well, welcome to the real world, man. What the?
My last what the of the night is more of a what the hell happened today. Andy Ashby made his major league debut today for the Milwaukee Brewers against the Chicago Cubs. This kid was only in, and Craig Counsell said, I just need him out for a short start. This poor kid did not make it out of the first inning. In 0.2 innings, he gave up, I believe, 4 runs. The Brewers went down 7-0 after the first inning. And final score of that game, Brewers win 15-7. The Brewers scored 15 unanswered runs. And I think they scored 12 of them by the 4th inning.
Yeah.
So I do have no clue what the hell happened today. I'm glad it came out in my favor.
Yeah.
BC was like, this series is going to be tied, a couple days ago, but in the division lead because the Cubs are going to come in and sweep. And I'm going to go to what he said. He's already given up on the Cubs. He said, Screw it, we're out of it. Fire sale, get rid of everybody. And I called it because I do remember early in the season when we were bantering back and forth. I said, when the Cubs are out of it by July, you'll no longer be a fan. So I don't know what the hell happened today, but that game, you get my what the for today.
And my final what the of the night and final what the of the week is going to go out to a certain place of an employment. I'm not going to leave it. I'm going to leave it nameless. I'm going to leave it. I don't care who works there, but this particular company makes $1 billion a year, like billions with an S with his. And let's put Z's on it. Billions, right, Combs? But this particular company has had a broken AC since May. With that being said, the office in this particular establishment was 92 degrees at 6 a.m. this morning. I am sitting there with swamp ass at 6:15 at a computer typing script, sweat rolling down my face in a corporate office. So, unsaid company that I don't work for, you get the what the. And that is going to be it for the What Does tonight, Tori. So, Tori, fun fact about your picture, what the, I heard on the radio, because I was listening to the radio broadcast on the way home of the Brewers game. It was right when somebody hit a grand slam to put them up 14-7. I text you guys.
Willie Adames.
Hey, yeah, and I text you guys, hey, Packers are up 14-7 over the Bears. And I was like, oh, wait, my bad. Like LOL. But they said that was the first pitcher ever that had his major league debut not make it out of the first inning. So your guy made history today.
He was going to do it one way or another, apparently.
Right.
Yeah, he is the nephew of former major league pitcher Alan Ashby, who was actually the Brewers pitching coach a few years ago.
So Joey had a what the that came through, and he says his what the of the night is Bill Cosby getting released from jail. If you guys have not heard, a federal judge in Ohio, I believe it is, or Pennsylvania, I can't remember.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania overturned Bill Cosby's sexual assault cases, and he is out of jail now. So 83-year-old Bill Cosby is officially out to roofie some more girls. So congratulations to Bill Cosby on that.
Did you read what happened and why he got out, though?
I did not. I just read the headline.
Apparently there was a prosecutor that took some kind of deal because would have been implicated with Cosby and made a handshake deal with his team or something like that. And that's why the whole thing got tossed.
Because he took a handshake deal to get like a less plea type thing, or what was the...
No, because the prosecutor was going to get implicated, I do believe, in the whole thing as well.
Well, what is I'm not a smart man, but what does implicated mean? Like charged with it? Yeah, he would have his name would have got lumped in and probably would have been facing charges as well. Interesting. So they just threw everything out and said nothing happened.
Yeah, that's what they have to do because basically he said, okay, I will do this so you guys don't say my name, basically.
Interesting. So kind of blackmail. Fun fact. So Joey also says that Danny Green carried a Kawhi Leonard to all of his rings.
Hashtag not real news.
Yeah. Hashtag Joey says he's going to work for ESPN. Fun fact, ESPN will be bankrupt by 2025. Just throwing it out there. Join Man Hour, Joey. That's the only way you ever someone threw a hot dog at Bill first week of jail. I don't get it. Is that true?
I have no clue. I pay zero attention to celebrity stuff.
All right,
if it's not sports related, I don't care.
We are going to take our next break. On the other side of the break here on Man Hour, guys, we got buy, sell, and sleeper for the Houston Texans. Obviously, you guys, what's happening in Houston right now. J.J. Watt is out. Deshaun Watson wants out, and the team's a complete dumpster fire. But I still think they're going to have a pretty successful season. But Tori is going to tell his players to buy, sell, and a sleeper player this year coming up for the Houston Texans on hour number 2 of the Man Hour. So, guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, hit that share button, and also hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back, guys, here on the Man Hour after a short little break. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Hour number 2 is open for sponsorship. So if you're listening to us here on Big X Sports Radio 96.1, feel free to hit us up at manhourradio.com if you are interested in sponsoring hour number 2 of the Man Hour, the buy, sell, or sleeper segment. Here on the buy, sell, or sleeper segment, we're going to break down all 32 NFL teams, and we're going to give you a player to buy for the 2021 season, sell, and a sleeper pick for the NFL 2021 season. So, Tori, with that being said, let me go ahead and bring you back on the screen here as I have it just a solo mode because I'm the best looking guy here on the show tonight. Sorry about your luck, but that's just the way it is because my gold world jersey is flickering. Yeah.
Are you on fleek?
I'm on. Right? What do the kids say now, right?
I have no clue.
Yeah. But with that being said, Tori, we have we've broken down 4 or 5 teams so far. We've taken down the Eagles,
the Cowboys,
Jets, Cowboys, and Packers. So this is team number 5 right now, Tori, the Houston Texans. And we know the Houston Texans right now are a complete dumpster fire. Their franchise quarterback, the $100 million man himself, wants out. Sexual allegations and all that controversy that is happening, and I think is a conspiracy theory, but we'll digress on that and address that later once his court cases start. I believe it's February when the court cases start, which is weird too. Why are you pushing the court cases out like almost a year? But whatever, we digress on that. So Tori, the Houston Texans, they had 3 draft picks this year, and their draft is questionable at best. So give me a player to buy for the Houston Texans on the 2021 NFL season.
I'm like, when I brought this up and I said, let's do the Texans. And then I looked at the roster. I went, what am I going who am I going to buy?
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you the player I am going to buy.
Okay.
I am buying Deshaun Watson, not even suiting up for the Houston Texans this year. I think if they do not trade him, he sits out all year. I think he's had it. So I think he will go Le'Veon Bell, hit that nuclear option. And there again, he could go the other route too with that COVID opt-out. Yeah. He could just say, I'm not sure I want to play. I don't feel safe. And sit home and collect his money as well. I know BC was saying that that's what Aaron Rodgers could do.
Yeah,
it's a more likely scenario for Deshaun Watson to hit that button than anybody else. The bad part to it, and I'm assuming he realizes that, and probably really does not even care, is it hurts his trade value because what the heck does he care what the Texans get in return for him?
Exactly.
Is because he's out of there. That's all he cares about. So I am going to buy Deshaun Watson never playing another down for the Houston Texans again.
So let me talk about that COVID situation here because you bring up a great point here because he can definitely sit out because of COVID concerns because he probably has some type of underlying condition or a family member or he can
he can't get a massage
there, right? He can't get massages. But do you think the NFL will ever come out and say, well, why didn't you sit out 2020 then if you have COVID concerns, but you're sitting out now? Do you think there's probably some types of checks and balances? I mean, like it is only eligible for players that sat out last year or maybe developed a new underlying condition. Maybe I'm kind of.
I would agree with you there that there needs to be a protocol in place for as having a good reason to do it because, like, say you're an aging veteran and you're just trying to get one more year in the league
for retirement,
and they give you this out. Where you don't know if you were going to make that team or not, and you're like, I'm just going to opt out. You basically still get I'm assuming they're still going to give them the year of service time if they're paying them their full salary.
Yeah. I'm not sure how that works. Yeah, to be honest with you.
Right. So it could there's a lot of people that could take advantage of the system. Are most people going to do that? Absolutely not, because obviously you're harming your teammates and stuff like that.
Right.
So that is one thing. I think people have a lot more integrity than what is portrayed and what we're given credit for.
Right.
However, I could see it, but like in Deshaun Watson's case, I could see it, and it would make perfect sense to be like, why not? You never want to play for him again. You've openly stated it. Say screw it. And if the NFL says, well, that's the rule we made, and there's nothing we can do about it, there's nothing they can do about it.
And if he tries to do something about it, he retires for the year, right, and does the Carson Palmer type thing, right?
Right.
So
So
so you are
also-
buying Deshaun Watson, not playing it down for the Houston Texans this year at all.
That's about the best player to buy. That's probably the best buy bet that team's got this year.
So I feel like Deshaun Watson could be your buy and sell, right?
No, no, because this team has so like the sell and the and everything else and the sleeper. Those are all good. Like those are easy to do.
So who's your sell?
Well, you didn't give us your buy yet.
I'm not doing it tonight.
Well, that's crappy. Here I'm expecting like. So my sell is going to be David Johnson, which is just going to make that trade that Bill O'Brien made look all the more stupid that he sold DeAndre Hopkins for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Like he got in my book, I don't think David Johnson's on this roster at the end of the preseason. Judging off of what they have done.
Who else
So
they had Drake or not Drake.
They signed Philip Lindsay from the Broncos.
Yeah.
They signed Mark Ingram from the Ravens. And they signed Rex Burkhead from the Patriots. You're not signing 3 starting running backs if you have all the confidence in your world in your current starting running back.
Yeah.
They are looking to replace him. There again, new regime, new coach, wants different players. Again, Rex Burkhead, I'm guessing, is there because Casero is the GM now, and he's a New England guy, and Burkhead was in New England. But like Philip Lindsay's a way better running back than David Johnson.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram is a better running back than David Johnson. So I don't even think there's room on the roster. At this point, again, that team is a dumpster fire. They are trying to rid themselves of all the mistakes that Bill O'Brien made with that team. Which there again, we're coming up to football season, so I get to break out my Bill O'Brien Magic 8 Ball that I like to make fun of. So,
so you're saying, who is your sell again? I'm sorry.
My sell is David Johnson. I don't think David Johnson's even on the team. Come the start of the season.
Yeah, and my sell for this season for the Houston Texans is going to be Rex Burkhead because of everything that you just said there. The GM is a Patriot guy, and we've seen when Patriots guys to try to bring in Patriots players to kind of change the culture and do the Patriot way somewhere else. And I think that's the only reason why Rex Burkhead is there. So he will definitely be sold for me 100%. And I'm kind of with you. I don't think he is on the roster this year like at all. Or maybe they trade him for something like a guy. I don't know his contract situation by any means, but I don't think he is on the roster one bit. So one Pride 40 over here on the YouTube channel says that Ingram is not better than David Johnson during his prime. Well, we're talking about right now.
I was going to say, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
David Johnson was the best running back in the league in his prime, but as of today, he's trash. He is not ever since he got injured, he has not been the same running back. So we're talking about today.
Yep.
But even then, if you put prime David Johnson up against prime Ingram, I'm still probably going to take David Johnson. But it's a lot closer than you would think. I would take David Johnson just because he was such a dual threat, a rushing and receiving threat in his prime.
Did we ever get to see a prime Ingram though? Because it seemed like every time he would start to get rolling downhill, like an injury bug would come up and bite him in the butt, or like they would have like a 2-back system type thing. Like I don't think he ever got to really showcase his prime per se.
I think he did. I think he kind of got. I do, just because the league for the last 10 years has been a 2-headed monster type of league, and that's just the way it is. It's not a lot of teams there was a very few teams that were still holding on to I have a featured back. So I think we did see him in his prime, and he was an amazing back. He was a great goal line back. He was a good relief back. Yeah, his first 2 years, he kind of did the Alabama running back thing. He was a disappointment.
Yep.
He was injured. He would play good in stretches. And then he hit that third year, and he hit his stride. And he split and carried, stayed healthy, and he was a beast. He was an absolute beast after his third year.
Yeah, and then One Pride also said that Bro Patricia did the exact same thing. That's actually who I was referring to was Matt Patricia in Detroit. Bringing in the players and the Patriot for the Patriot way. And he also says like I don't understand why
Traded,
them
I'm guessing traded him.
Yeah, traded Hopkins for Beggars reasons. I don't know. The story that I heard was Hopkins was asking for some money and he was messing around with somebody's daughter or something just like that. So it was easy just to cut ties and get him out of town before like the news kind of broke type thing that he was not going to get his contract and mess around with somebody's daughter or something like that.
I'm calling baloney on that because that just is like, I think that's folklore for like every team, because way back in the 90s when Holmgren was the coach of the Packers, we had a kicker by the name of Chris Jackie. And it was rumored that Chris Jackie got caught screwing around with Holmgren's daughter, and that's the reason that Green Bay wasn't going to resign. So, like, this just it fits like the folklore of like the urban legends of stuff that gets said and happens. I don't care who you are. If the dude's messing with the coach's daughter, as long as she's over 18, who cares? You have one of the top 3 receivers in the league. Well, I don't trade him for a bag of peanuts.
So maybe it wasn't somebody's daughter. Maybe it was the massage therapist that Deshaun Watson was getting involved with, and they're trying to sweep it under the rug before it blew up like the Deshaun thing. Maybe
it was somebody's wife.
Yeah, maybe we're just digging into something and something's not even there. We're trying to start the fire and fan it.
DeAndre, if you want to come on and clear the air 100%, we would love to have you on.
Who were you banging in Houston to get traded to Arizona? Just let us know, man.
And again, he probably didn't care because he was out of there, and he's like, I could care less. They got screwed on that deal. What a bunch of morons. But there again, Bill O'Brien is not the brightest person ever.
And now he's teamed up with AJ Green, Julio Jones, and Larry Fitzgerald. So,
and Christian Kirk,
who really won that deal. So let's just be honest. So, Tori, you gave us your buy and your sell. Who is going to be your sleeper pick for the Houston Texans this year? A team a player that's going to just kind of take you by surprise.
I don't know if he's so much of a sleeper because he did a great job when Will Fuller got suspended towards the end of the year. Kiki Kuti, love him. I think he's going to be the number 2 receiver in the for this team this year. Brandon Cooks is still going to be the number 1 right now, according to the depth chart. Randall Cobb is listed as the number 2 receiver, which I'm like baffled by that because Kiki was the number 2 receiver last year when Will Fuller got suspended. So where that came from, I don't know. It does not matter who the quarterback is. Kiki is going to get the ball. He is a solid receiver. I actually picked him up in my fantasy league last year when Will Fuller got suspended, and I saw 0 drop off in production, and Will Fuller was having a great year.
Yeah.
Up until his suspension. So Kiki has all the makings of being a great number 2 receiver. The big question for them is who's going to be throwing him the ball. Is it going to be Tyrod Taylor or Davis Mills? Or do we go with the wild card in Jeff Driscoll winning the starting job there?
It's actually going to be Deshaun Watson, so let's just be honest about it.
Deshaun Watson. I can't go against what my buy was that he's never going to play down for them again, and I think he does not play it down for them ever again.
Right. So that's actually the sleeper that I had on there too. So I'm going to go with my second receiver on there, and that is Randall Cobb, because I think Randall Cobb is feeling rejuvenated now because, we didn't see him have much production with the Cowboys. And then when he went to the Houston, he didn't have much production last year either. But since, Will Fuller is gone, Hopkins is gone as well, like obviously now going for his second year. I think Randall Cobb kind of feels that rejuvenation and is that, second featured guy, now. And so like a guy, I think they have it listed perfect that he is the number 2 receiver on that depth chart. And I think he is going to have a great year, and he is going to be like a phoenix and rise from the ashes, to be honest, because like, I think he still has that in him. I was really disappointed when he was kind of a bust for the Dallas Cowboys, to be honest.
That's because he did nothing his last 2 years in Green Bay with Aaron throwing him the ball still. I love Randall to death. Love him. He is a great guy, but he did nothing in Green Bay. The problem is his injuries kind of sapped his speed. And that was his thing, was being that slot guy, being that underneath guy. And he kind of slowed down a little bit, and he couldn't get separation from defensive backs anymore. And I think that's what we've been seeing, like when he went to Dallas, and that's what we saw last year with Houston. Maybe he's healthy this year. Maybe he got some of it back. Maybe he changed up his training. Never know. Receivers have bounce back years and later in their career all the time. So everybody wrote Randy Moss off, and he just went to all he did was go to the Patriots and catch 23 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, didn't he set the season record for touchdowns, right? Or was it catches?
Yeah.
Or I can't remember what it was. Yeah,
receiving touchdowns.
Yeah. So cue here for edit. This is a break point for Big X Sports Radio, but we're just going to carry on through the break here because I do want to answer some of the questions that One Pride has here. So, for my knowledge right here, 121 break for Big X Sports Radio. But Big One Pride says, out of all of the coaching hires this season, which coach will be the most successful? Tori, let's answer that quick question for him real quick.
So by coach, I'm assuming we're going by head coach, not like offensive.
Right. Let's say NFL head coach.
Give me Brandon Staley all day long for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah,
he is inheriting a team that is primed to win. He has all the talent in the world. I really think that what was it? Lynn was the coach, right? Anthony Lynn.
1 year.
I think. Yeah, I think
it?
Anthony. I think he got 2 years. I think Anthony Lynn caught a raw deal for whatever reason. I think he had the team on the right track, but Staley now takes over a team that is set up to be a Super Bowl contender for the next 7 to 8 years. He sets up a team that is not in terrible shape cap wise. They have a lot of their stars already locked up, minus Herbert, because he's still going to be on his rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Brandon Staley. I think is probably the most successful rookie head coach this year.
Yeah, and just to add to your point there, the only thing that is, I think, really stopping them is that fact that the AFC is freaking stacked. Like you had the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens. The AFC is stacked. I mean, like otherwise, I think they would probably be at least in that Super Bowl conversation in like in this year, 100%. So you have a great pick there, but I got to stick with the Detroit Lions and Steve Campbell. And like I think
Dan Campbell.
Sorry, Dan Campbell. I think he has inherited a better situation than many people are making it out to be, because there's a brand new GM, brand new head coach. They kind of cleared the team of the cancers that were not kind of buying into the ways of the team. And he is a player's coach, like he was a player, so he knows what players like in a coach. And I think he is going to transpire that. Yes, he has only been an intern coach for the Miami Dolphins, I believe it was, but this is his first head coaching job. And I think he is going to hit the ground running, and he is going to lead. Like, I seriously think that he's going to lead the Lions to a 10-win season, like easily. And beat the Packers in that division. So sorry about your Packers, but they're going to get second place in the division this year, Corey. 10-7, and the Lions win head-to-head.
Who's Corey?
Tori. I said Tori.
You said Corey.
I said Tori. Whatever. Play it back. All right.
I'm throwing my challenge flag. Let's rewind that.
We rewind it. Let me. I think I got the clip queued up. Drew says, "Don't be shy. Spread that thigh."
I don't know what that means.
Sometimes boys in the chat, like at least Bo's not here.
I was going to say, are we going off the rails again?
Somebody call Bo and bring him in. You guys can talk about dog farts again or something like that. But Tori, let's go ahead and take our next break. I need to take a quick little breath of air, catch my thoughts, get a drink of water. Guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour after this short little break.
Hey there, Mr. White T-shirt wearer dude. Mr. White shirt wearer dude. Do you wear the same shirt every day? Same shirt every day. Do you do the same thing every day? The same thing every day. Don't you worry, Mr. White shirt wearer dude. Now with Man Hour merch, you can spice up your style each and every day. From hats to beanies to shirts. We got you covered, Mr. White shirt wearer dude. Shop at manhourradio.com. T-shirts start at $15. Shop today.
Why, thank you, manhourradio.com, for this awesome merch. Hats, t-shirts, $15. You can't go wrong.
Pretty obvious in that one. Dak's coming back off. You got Tom Brady, and did I mention 22 starters coming back?
When I say Lamar Jackson is trash, I'm not saying he is the worst quarterback in the league, but he is definitely not the best quarterback in the league. When you say somebody is trash, it is based off the perception of the general public. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Tori Anderson tonight. Guys, we're going to open up the phone lines early tonight. We're going to start shop talk early. So for the last half hour here on the Man Hour, Tori, we're going to open the phone lines up for the people, answer the questions in the chat, and we do have a couple things happening as well. So, Tori, we already do have our first caller of the night, so let's go ahead and welcome the caller onto the show here. So, Man Hour Nation, what's up, Mr. Caller? Who do we got here tonight? Hello, caller. Can you hear us? And it said called failed. So, anyways, since the phone lines are open and we're waiting for people to go ahead and call in here, let's go ahead and answer this next question here from One Pride here over on the YouTube on the YouTube page, youtube.com/manhour. And he says, what new hire will be fired the earliest? That's a great question because, there's always going to people be fired.
Oh, that's a great question. Thanks for asking.
My answer is going to be Urban Meyer. Like, I don't think he'll be fired, but he'll quit because he'll have heart issues year number 2.
Yeah, I would. I mean, we've both kind of reiterated that fact,
yep.
that, like, because that's his MO. As soon as the tough get going, Urban Meyer quits with health problems.
Yeah.
So I think, I would agree with that. That Urban Meyer is the first one to go on. Like, they realize it's a failed experiment some point next year, and realize that Trevor Lawrence will never develop. They fire Urban Meyer and hire Tim Tebow as their head coach immediately after.
Wow, Tim Tebow's going to be head coach. Okay. Wow, that's a bold statement here. So One Pride, hopefully that answers your question here. So we do have a caller here on the Man Hour phone lines. Caller, who we got here tonight?
You know me.
Hey,
I'm back.
What's going on, Joey? How's it going tonight, bub?
It's going good tonight.
Good.
Okay, so I'm cutting straight to the chase. So you were talking about your TikTok earlier.
Yeah.
I saw a video on there. I'll give you 3 teams who can beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
None. I'll give you one. The Buccaneers.
No. So the question was, what AFC teams can beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Because it was actually a clip that we recorded here on the Man Hour, because we said what NFC teams can beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and people want to throw out the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs and all these AFC teams. No, it was what division opponent can beat said teams. What AFC teams can beat the Kansas City Chiefs there, Joey? Absolutely nobody can. Nobody can.
Yeah, except for if the rumors are true that Zach Ertz is on his way to Buffalo, that just made things a whole lot more interesting.
Did it? The Kansas City Chiefs defense is going to step up and be number 1 this year, Tori. No question about it.
Oh, my God.
There's another year underneath
You also think the Dallas defense is going to be in the top 10 too. So
yeah, along with here, let me put my KC Pride hat on for
How are you a defensive coordinator and can't look at what a defense does?
I saw the Kansas City Chiefs win a Super Bowl when they had.
I can't be on this show anymore. Dude, this is too delusional.
How is it delusional? So
You're delusional.
Legitimately, give me. Okay, Joey, give me 2 teams in the AFC that can beat the Kansas City Chiefs this year in the playoffs. I'll wait.
I don't know one, but I know a person who can.
Who? Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow isn't going to be playing then because he's going to be a backup tight end at the best.
He's head coach. He's head coach and waiting for
Tim
Jacksonville.
Tebow he will beat every single person on the Chiefs. There you go.
Okay, so you're telling me that the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Kansas City Chiefs and the playoffs?
Yep.
Okay. There you go. You heard it here first. Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be number 1 seed in the AFC and beating the Kansas City Chiefs round number 1.
That's even more delusional than you.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, the Buffalo Bills can beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and so can the Chargers.
You know what team I'm really worried about? Chargers is like
the Raiders.
100%. No, I mean, like the Raiders always worry me, but the Denver Broncos.
I'm out.
All right, Joey. Thanks.
Why? Drew Lock? You think Drew Lock's going to turn into a great quarterback? You think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be an all-pro? What do you think?
I think Teddy Bridgewater will be that management type of quarterback that the Broncos have been seeking because the Broncos have a good team around him. They have the receivers. You know, they drafted Jerry Jeudy last year.
A healthy Cortland Sutton back.
Yeah, they have Cortland Sutton. Von Miller is back from his was it Achilles or ACL? I can't remember what he hurt last year. But he is back. So mean that defense is still intact. That offense literally just missing that game management quarterback. And I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be that guy. And now, am I saying they're going to go 13-4? No, absolutely not. But it would not surprise me one bit if they sneak in as a wild card as a 7 seed and they surprise some people. It would also not be surprising if the Denver Broncos sweep the Kansas City Chiefs this year in the division. And this is coming from a Chiefs fan that thinks they're going to go to the Super Bowl again for the third time in 3 years.
I don't see it. I mean, it could. Obviously it's in the realm of possibilities to happen.
Right.
I don't see them taking both regular season games from the Chiefs. Going into Arrowhead for anybody is not an easy task.
For whatever reason, the Broncos play well at Arrowhead. Like I believe in the last 5 years, don't quote me on this, but they have more wins at Arrowhead than they do at Mile High versus the Chiefs. So
I'm gonna need to see the stats.
Yeah, we do have another caller on the line. Welcome to Man Hour Nation. Caller, what is your name?
Hello, my name is Phil Maeus. I'm a very avid
and hang up on him.
And just like that, Phil, my anus is been officially blocked from Man Hour, Mr. No Caller ID. I should have known. But he didn't he try that last night too?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that just I don't get it. But so the Buffalo Bills, I mean, that's kind of an obvious choice, right? The Chargers, I think that is a great pick because Herbert is going to have that, year of experience under his belt. That team is looking good. Do we see anybody from the other, maybe the Browns or the Ravens, even the Titans? I was
gonna say the Browns would be the other one. I think the Titans regress this year. I think the Titans take a step back this year.
Do they regress because of the quarterback play or because of just everybody has kind of figured out their MO?
One, Ryan Tannehill is not as good as he's actually been, I don't think.
So you're saying he's been playing out of his mind, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
2, I think Corey Davis is a bigger loss to that team than they realize. A.J. Brown, don't get me wrong, A.J. Brown is a phenomenal receiver, but losing Corey Davis to balance that out is a bigger loss than they can stipulate.
Well, and that their tight end that they lost to, what's his name? Jono, right?
Jonnu Smith.
So he's with the Patriots, and I think that's actually a bigger loss than what you just said at the receiver core. Like, I think them losing that check down tight end that they had hurts them because he was not only a good relief threat, of that quick dump off pass. He was actually pretty damn good in the blocking game too, and obviously their MO is running the ball with Derrick Henry downhill, and when you lose that extra blocker in there, that's going to hurt too. So, do you guys believe in the Rams are overrated? Tori, I'm going to kick that to you first.
I do not, just because they have so much talent on that defense. They still have arguably probably the best defense in the league. They
have the best player in the whole league.
Right, yeah. Aaron Donald's the best defensive player in the league, hands down.
No, he's the best player in the whole league.
That's stretching it. I wouldn't say he's the best player in the whole league.
Okay, so finish your thought. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So, yeah, I don't think that the Rams are. Again, you got Stafford at quarterback. They have a solid offensive line. Stafford's not going to be, fearing for his life every time he drops back. You have a great wide receiver core, with your top three receivers being Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Deshaun Jackson. Which, if you tuned in yesterday, I have Deshaun Jackson as kind of one of my flex guys that you need to pick up in your fantasy league.
Not tuned in yesterday. It's on July 4th at 8 o'clock. Corey, don't give away your stuff here, man. Come on now.
So, but yeah, I don't think absolutely they're not overrated. This is a team that is going to be there at the end of the season. There again, it depends who they have to play. I think we have a different result in that game if the Packers had to go to LA versus LA coming to Green Bay.
Okay, so let me go out on a limb and say that the Rams are not overrated. The Rams players as a team is not overrated. What is overrated? Ready for this? Sean McVay is overrated. Yes, he had that one good year, and it averaged like 45 points a game, and they went to the Super Bowl, and they scored 0 points in the Super Bowl, which is just 7. I can't remember, but they were like
7 points.
Yeah, they scored 7 points from that high flying. So I don't think the Rams as a team is overrated by any means. I think Sean McVay is overrated, and Sean McVay is what holds them back from winning a playoff game this year. I think in the regular season they probably go 12-4. They probably at least compete for that division. That division is probably the best division in football again, but they lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Are they
holds them back. What's that?
Are they going 13-4 or 12-5? Because you said 12.
Sorry, it'd be 12-5. Like I think 12 wins is their max, and 8 wins is probably their low. So
I'm gonna agree with you a little bit there, Drew. I think Cam Akers, he played really well in the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
in the first round and against the Packers. He actually came on pretty good at the end of the year last year. I think Cam Akers is going to be a heck of a running back in the league.
And they still have Henderson as well too, which is that 1-2 punch that they need. You have the speed and versus the power. So that
power back. Yep.
Yeah, that definitely hurt the Cowboys. The last time they were in the playoffs, and the Rams were just. I believe that was their Super Bowl run year, if I'm not mistaken. Like Henderson ran all over everybody that particular game. So to answer the question, I don't think the Rams as a team is overrated, but I think their coaching staff is overrated. Combs here. What's up, Combs? Thank you for chiming in here on the YouTube. He says Rams are definitely not overrated. And then he comes out and says that it is between the Cards and the Rams to decide that division. So let's talk about that. Tori, do you think that NFC West comes down to the Cards and Rams?
No, I think it comes down to the Cards, Rams, and Seahawks. That's like we said, though, and we've all kind of got the consensus that the NFC West and the AFC West are probably the two best divisions in all of football because there are quality football teams top to bottom. And even when we did our picks for who's going to do what, I think I have the Niners are in 4th place in that division, and I have them at 8-9.
Yeah.
And so, I think I have the Cardinals at 13-4. I believe I have the Seahawks at 13-4, and I have the Rams at 12-5. They're probably going to send, obviously with their division champion and probably 2 wild cards to the playoffs. It is that going to be that kind of division that takes over. That being said, two of those 2 West Coast teams are going to have to probably travel somewhere to the East Coast or the Midwest and probably play in a little bit cooler climate. probably going to be at a little bit disadvantage at that point. However, I do think that that's a division that any one of those three teams could win. And I'm not entirely counting out the 49ers saying, yeah, we're going to get back into this too. I flip a coin. If you told me that you thought the Niners were going to win it, I'd be like, you're probably right. If you told me the Rams were going to win, I'd be like, you're probably right. If you told me the Seahawks, Cardinals, does not matter. You potentially could be right in that division because the division is that good. Yeah. Most of their losses are going to come from beating up on each other.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that just because like you can literally go from fourth to first if you win, one of your division games, and like let's say the 49ers are sitting at 9-8 and the Seahawks are sitting at 10-7 or 10-6 and they go into that last game of the season and the 49ers beat the Seahawks, they could go from fourth to first in a matter of a game. Like I think that division is that closely competitive and you can have a fighting chance for anything. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that the Seahawks, this is their division to lose this year because the reason why I'm not picking the 49ers because I think we are going to hear rumblings of play the rookie quarterback. Jimmy G is not the answer. Play the rookie quarterback. And I think Kyle Shanahan,
which is ridiculous. Jimmy G took him to a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now you're going to be like, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I could totally see that fan base be like, we need to put Trey Lance in there.
Exactly. Because everybody wants the new greatest thing right there. Like we talked about earlier, the attention span, the attention span of us is like, hey, I want that new shiny toy, and Trey Lance is a new shiny toy for the 49ers. So One Pride over here at youtube.com /man hour says that the Rams are grossly overrated. I'm kind of wondering why he thinks that. Is it because of the coaching? Like, so One Pride 40, it looks like you are a Lions guy here. So let me ask you this question here. Why do you think the Rams are grossly overrated? It's because of Matthew Stafford? Is it because of the defense, coaching staff? Like, what makes them overrated? As Clayton says, answer my call. I'm sorry there, Clayton. I was let me give you a call back, Clayton, from so I'm giving Clayton Schroeder a call right now there, Tori. So
way to give in to peer pressure of the fans.
Definitely peer pressure. Is this Clayton?
Yes.
Clayton, what's up, man? Welcome to Man Hour.
So I just want to get everybody's take on this.
Sure.
How early do you think the 49ers, because I really do think Kyle Shanahan, he's gonna say, you know what? I mean, not Shanahan, he's gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna stick with Jimmy G. How early do you think they'll go to Trey Lance?
Tori, I'll kick it to you first.
I think that they don't go to Trey Lance if they don't have to. The only way they go to Trey Lance is if Jimmy G gets hurt again this year. And at that point, then you have to see what your rookie's got. In a perfect world, you let him sit all season long, or you put him in a game in mop-up duty that you are either blowing somebody out or you're just have no chance of coming back, just to see what the kid can do. You don't want to do nothing to really rattle his confidence, but you still want to see what he can do. So I don't see them putting him in like the crosshairs of line of fire any sooner than they have to. And if Jimmy G stays healthy, I don't see him seeing the field at all. So with that being said, Jimmy G still has a no trade clause in his contract.
And he just signed an extension through 2024.
Absolutely. It could be something. You could see Trey Lance sit like Aaron Rodgers did behind Favre and just sit and learn for 3 years. And then that fourth year, they're going to kind of be like, we need to hand the keys to the Cadillac to the kid because we got to find out what we have. So I could 100% see that happening again.
So, Clayton, I'm going to give you the answer that Tori wanted to say. I say if the 49ers are a below 500 team going into week 10, we will see Trey Lance at week 11. I believe their bye week is week 9, if I'm not mistaken. So after the bye week, if they're below 500 team, we will see Trey Lance. Also, if they start 0-4, so if they don't get any wins their first 4 weeks of the season, we will see Trey Lance then. I mean, obviously, if Jimmy G gets hurt, Trey Lance is the backup, and we'll see him then. But that's kind of a waffle answer there, Mr. Torrey. Waffle merch coming to manhourradio.com. Click on the merch section. # Waffle Wyatt. But I say, we will see Jimmy G if they're below 500 going into week 10, or if they start 0-4. Does that answer your question there?
I totally agree with that. And like what my understanding was, I was really confused 2020 when the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts. I was like, they don't need Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Carson Wentz was an MVP quarterback. We all know this. And I feel like they're just going to wait for Jimmy G, because Jimmy G has these games where he just has these like blowout games where he'll just like throw 3 interceptions in the first half, and then they'll have to like jump the gun and then just be like, all right, just put Trey Lance out there. I feel like they're going to have a lot of pressure on him, just like the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. Hey, let's get this guy that was a Heisman winner. Let's get him out there. Let's see what he can do, which it clearly worked, but I don't know. I just really wanted to get your take because I'm a big fantasy football guy, and I don't know if I want to draft or like pick. I don't know. There's no way I'm going to be able to draft him, but I want to draft or sign Trey Lance because I really like Trey Lance. I feel like if they start Trey Lance, Jimmy G, he's not really a mobile quarterback. He's a pocket guy. And Trey Lance, he's going to open up the field. It's like going from Alex Smith to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, like we saw in the Super Bowl, he's going to open up the field. He's going to move guys around the secondary. I feel like Trey Lance has like that mobility, so he's going to mix up the offense instead of just like pass run. We can have a little scramble, a little boot throw. I really just do think Kyle Shanahan's going to notice, and even like preseason practice, this guy's going to open up our offense, because I really do think 49ers healthy are a Super Bowl contending team.
Which they are, because last year they had at one point they had 16 starters like hurt. It was bad. It was bad. So just to add to your point there, Jimmy G is exactly like Alex Smith. He is a quarterback that will not lose you a lot of games, but he isn't going to win you a lot of games either. He is a game manager. You give him a 7-point lead, he is going to keep that lead and not make mistakes. The problem with the 49ers coaching staff is Kyle Shanahan gets impatient. That is why they lost the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs. They were up 24-7. I think
they were up. If he would have just slowed the game,
if he would have kept doing what he did all playoffs and pound the damn ball, the Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't have had a chance. But he got tired. He got complacent. He started wanting to push the ball down the field and go blow to flow for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that right there is not Jimmy G's game. That's not how the 49ers are built. So if you bring Trey Lance in and try to be a Kansas City Chiefs, he is going to fail. You have to, the 49ers almost need a full makeover for Trey Lance to be successful in 49er land in the next 3 or 4 years.
And I totally agree with that. It's like, I think Jimmy G can do it, which we all know we can. He can lead that team to the Super Bowl. Being behind Tom Brady for however many years he was in New England, man, you could just tell he just kind of plays the game like Brady. Like, Brady can, if he's up by 20, okay, like he was against the Chiefs, you know how much they just slowed the ball down.
Right.
I mean, they given it to Fournette. They just kept feeding in Fournette, and I forgot Ronald Jones.
Yep.
They just kept feeding them the ball and slowing it down. And I really think Jimmy G can do that. But you're right, Kyle Shanahan he's a young coach. He knows the game, but he doesn't know the game like Belichick or whatever, like a Hall of Fame coach. Like, he doesn't know the game like that. He's just not gonna do it. He's gonna want to jump the gun with Trey Lance, which do I think they're gonna be successful? It just kind of depends. He has the pieces. He has Kittle. He has their stud rookie wide receiver. He had a very good year. he has the pieces, and I think he will. It just depends how Kyle Shanahan plays it. And I really do like Kyle Shanahan. I think he's a great coach.
Yeah. So speaking from a coaching standpoint, I like we all start out at coaching at some point, and we're all eager to like kind of flex and like have that ego. Sometimes you have to just take a step back and let the game come to you. And that's the only way Kyle Shanahan will ever be successful, is he just needs to, not get eager and try to overstep his boundaries too much. So this year, I think for 49er fans and for Kyle Shanahan, this is a make or break year. So if he is successful and like understands how to coach the game of football, because this is his 5th year, right? If I'm not mistaken, Tori.
I think
sounds right.
Yeah, sounds right.
So he should be, an OG like at this point, and he should know how to coach the game. And if he fails again and, kind of oversteps his boundaries and doesn't do what they do good, he will be out at 49er land.
And another question, like, do you think this is where the Bears, I was very shocked in the draft field. I'm just really caught off guard. Do you think they're going to start? I think they're going to start Andy Dalton, but I really think they're going to be McVay. He's going to be pushing Fields. I really do think that.
Yeah. So if you listen to Brandon Combs, Justin Fields is starting week 1. Tori, what are your thoughts? Does Justin Fields start week 1 or Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton starts week 1. Again, I am a firm believer, because if you let the guy sit, you let the guy learn, it's better for them in the long run.
Right. Especially at quarterback.
Right. It's a proven thing. BC's, I can see him going off in the chat about
we see you.
different stuff. So if they can let him sit and just be terrible this year and then get another high draft pick, do it. Let him learn. You haven't ruined his confidence. You haven't ruined his career yet. I mean, it's the Bears. So I was going to say, it's the Bears. So, no, because Trubisky had a good year in year 3, and then years 4 and 5 weren't so great.
Right. So if you guys have been following the Man Hour for a while here, I think Andy Dalton is a top 15 quarterback in all of NFL if he's given the proper chance to prove himself. And this year, week 1, he will be proving himself. And Collins will be like, I love the Red Rocket. Andy Dalton's king, because he's going to throw like 6 touchdowns his first week. And Andy Dalton is going to be the starter all year. Justin Fields is a quarterback that will sit for probably 2 years, because I think Andy Dalton's 36 this year, Combs, or Tori 35, 36, because he was in Cincinnati for at least 10 years.
I didn't think redheads lived past the age of 35.
Yeah, so he probably has 2 years left in him, 2 solid years as a starter. So I think this year you see Andy Dalton as a starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears all season long.
I do agree with that. When they signed Andy Dalton, I'm a Dallas fan. I've watched, win or lose, I'm always watching Dallas. I did watch Andy Dalton play, and he's not a bad quarterback. And I do agree with you. I think Andy Dalton can be a top 15 quarterback. I mean, he's got a good arm. He knows how to play the game. He's not too aggressive. The only thing that just gets Andy Dalton is he just makes these passes just like out of nowhere. He'll just throw an interception, and like
right.
What I saw this year with Andy Dalton, I think when he gets pressure on him in the pocket, instead of sitting back, he just like his mind just starts racing, and he just tries to get rid of the ball like as quick as you can.
That comes from all those years in Cincinnati, though.
That does. And
he was not used by having a good line.
Oh no, Cincinnati. I wouldn't even count those years. This year when I watched him, I love Andy Dalton. At the beginning of the year when Dallas was, I think they were 0-2. I think they were like 1-2 because they beat Atlanta in that crazy game, and Dak got hurt. I was like, oh shoot, there goes Dak, and Dak was having a pretty good year,
right? And
I was like, okay, we're gonna see what Andy Dalton gets to do, because I was really excited when they signed Andy Dalton to be our backup, because I feel like well, Stephen A. Smith, I remember him saying he's like Andy Dalton, he's not gonna do anything for Dallas. And I just remember him saying Andy Dalton's not going to do anything. I was like, I think Andy Dalton's he's going to be a great quarterback. He's a high draft pick. He was great in college. It's like give the guy chance on a good team, and I really didn't think he did that bad. I really think Dallas their defense just held it back so much. I mean, I think they ended up having the worst defense in the league. It was embarrassing.
All right. Well, Clayton, thank you for the call, man, and definitely tune in tomorrow when we have the phone lines open as well. All right, man.
Yes, sir. I'll call you back.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good one. All right, so Tori, you brought up another question here. What rookie quarterback do you think is going to be the biggest bust in this class? That's Zach Wilson for.
I was going to say, is there even a question about this?
No, the answer is Trevor Lawrence. So I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a bust. Combs is on board with that as well, and Tori's with Zach Wilson. That's who we think are going to be bust this year in the rookie draft. So on the flip side of that, Tori, who do you think is going to have the best year, or is it? Year, so who's just going to have the best career out of this rookie class?
Justin Fields.
And I want to say Kyle Trash. I think he's in the best situation. So, agree?
Yes.
So
I know what time it is.
You know what time it is? No, I'm not going to mute you.
Lies.
I pinky swear. So One Pride says, Buck, you might need this cap because I'm seeing nothing but cap on that take. No, it's 100% true. So I'm confused because some people say no cap. So is it like when you say nonfiction and fiction? So like nonfiction is the truth and fiction is the truth. So cap means I'm lying and no cap means I'm not lying. Can you clear that up? Do you know, Tori?
I never even heard the term.
Are you that old, man?
If you say cap to me, it means I'm shooting your ass.
No, like that's what the cool kids say. They're like, no cap, no cap. I think that means like they're not lying, like they're telling you the truth. So because One Pride says, Buck, you capping again, I think Fields will bust. So Justin Fields, I think he is going to be on either side of the spectrum. There is no mediocrity set for Justin Fields. It's either great or bust. What do you think on that?
I agree. I just said he's going to have the best career out of all of them.
So yeah, but like, I'm not trying to like bait you into like anything. But do you think Justin Fields is like he is not a quarterback that can have like that mediocre career like a Alex Smith? It's either going to be MVP, Lamar Jackson type thing, or like a Mark Sanchez. Like there's no passing ground.
No, not at all.
So he can be just an average of the road quarterback and still be successful.
Mark Sanchez was. Mark Sanchez made a career off of being a backup after he was a starter. He went to 4 AFC title games. So
yeah, I forget about that. Yeah.
I just think though, I think Justin Fields has a chance to be something really special. And me as a Packer fan, that pains me to say, but he has a chance to be a legitimate Hall of Fame quarterback, I believe, with Chicago.
One Pride says he can't read defenses. He can read defenses because he hit the open receiver a lot at Ohio State. So just because you're not passing to your second or third guy, you pass to the guy that's open, right? I mean, that's reading the defense. You're passing to the guy that's open. Right?
It's true.
That is true. All right, guys, that is going to be it for the man hour Combs. We do not want that here, so just go ahead and delete that, Mr. Combs. Come on, dude. So, Tori, go ahead and send us out here on the man hour.
Man hour nation, rise up.